There's an entire industry thriving on the promise of curing you of procrastination, ideally in 30 days and for a small fee. If it really worked, they'd be out of a job by now, yet somehow they're still doing just fine. So no, I'm not going to sell you a morning routine or an app that will change your life. I won't pretend that after this film, you'll turn into a disciplined machine. That statement itself is nonsense. Instead, you'll get two things. This whole industry usually doesn't say out loud. First, why you really procrastinate, even though you don't want to. Second, a way to actually get moving when everything else has failed. Procrastination is so annoying because it doesn't even bring pleasure. You might be doing something fun in the meantime, but in the back of your mind, there's a constant reminder that you should be doing something else. The result is neither finished work nor peace of mind. Sound familiar? Good. We're about to break this down step by step. Let's start with a misunderstanding on which everything else is built. People treat procrastination as a flaw in your character. They say you're lazy or lacking willpower. It's an easy story because it offers a simple solution. Just get it together, man. But this story is simply not true, and soon you'll see why. Picture a typical scene. You need to write a presentation you've been avoiding for a week. Suddenly, as if by magic, you find yourself doing something strange. For the past 3 hours, you've been scrubbing the kitchen you haven't touched in a month. The cupboard under the sink becomes a matter of life and death. Someone supposedly too lazy to open a document is voluntarily cleaning grout with a toothbrush, and it doesn't stop at cleaning. Suddenly, you feel a pressing need to reply to a message from 2 weeks ago, or learn how to change the oil in a car you don't even own. Your brain will give you a list of urgent tasks, anything to avoid the one that makes you feel sick. This is an escape, and a particularly busy one. Notice what you're actually avoiding. Cleaning is effort too, yet you dive into it without hesitation. It's only that one specific task that drags you down. It triggers an unpleasant feeling. The presentation reminds you that you might embarrass yourself in front of people. That email you don't reply to threatens a response you don't want to read. These things make you feel heavy and awkward, but scrubbing the kitchen does not. So the brain does what it does best. It escapes where it's easier. Your brain follows a simple rule in this game. What matters is what you feel right now, not what you'll feel in the evening when the task remains unfinished. Relief now almost always wins over later troubles, because later seems distant and a bit unreal. So you promise yourself you'll handle it after lunch. And after lunch, maybe tomorrow morning, fresh. Tomorrow morning fresh is the most beautiful lie we tell ourselves. Here's the most important sentence of this film. Procrastination is just a way to deal with unpleasant emotions. Time management has almost nothing to do with it. And if that's true, then all the advice you've gotten over the years has one small flaw. They fervently fix something that isn't broken at all. Take a moment to observe what these people actually advise. Buy a nice calendar. Install an app that colors your day into time blocks down to every quarter hour. All of this treats procrastination as a logistical problem, as if you simply didn't know what to do and when, but you know exactly what you need to do. It's written on 3 lists and stuck on your fridge, and it's those lists you stare at with growing anxiety, doing absolutely nothing. The whole issue boils down to one thing. Every time you look at that task, you feel a bit sick, so you look away and reach for your phone. No calendar fixes this, because a calendar doesn't change how you feel. And this brings us back to that industry we mentioned at the start. Because the logical next step is this. If the free app didn't help, then you probably need to buy a course on beating procrastination. So you purchase it with the feeling that you're finally taking charge of your life. And then you delay watching it. That's a level of irony that you can't make up. And now my favorite part, the myth that many people wear like a badge. I just work better under pressure. No, you don't. Under pressure, you finally start working at all, because the fear of the consequence finally got bigger than your dislike for the task itself. Your better under pressure is simply panic dressed up with better PR. The same goes for those late night sprints 2 hours before the deadline. Every month, you fall into the same trap, and every month, you call it your work style. And one more confession before we move on. There's a good chance you're watching this video to put off something you really should be doing right now. Relax, I'm not judging. It's just good for both of us to know exactly where we are. Now that we know it's an escape from a feeling, there's the million-dollar question. What to do about it when colorful apps are not the answer. Start with one observation that truly changes the game. You're really avoiding one specific moment, the one where you have to begin. The rest of the task hardly bothers you. Think of anything you've been putting off for weeks. When you finally sat down and started, how long did it really take? Usually dramatically less than you feared. And almost always, when it's over, you tell yourself the same thing. Why did I put this off for so long? Because the real fear lies in starting. The first minute is the worst. That's when all the unpleasant feelings hit you at once. But once you get going, the work just becomes ordinary, manageable and a bit dull. The dragon you feared turns into a lizard. And from here, the only thing that truly works when everything else has failed. Make the first step absurdly small, so small that skipping it would be sillier than doing it. Instead of the whole report, open an empty document. Write one ugly sentence you'll later delete anyway. Instead of the entire apartment, put one cup in the sink and see what happens. It sounds simple, and that's the point. But with this trick, you're not deceiving your discipline. You're just fooling that one hurdle at the very start. That moment when you usually back away. Once you cross that line and really get going, you often keep going. Stopping halfway feels strangely awkward. It's all about one thing, pushing yourself over that line before you can come up with a reason not to. There's another ally you forget. Your brain hates things that are started but left unfinished. That's why a series cuts off an episode in the middle of a scene, so you click next. You can turn this mechanism against your own procrastination. Once you write that one clumsy sentence, the open document starts quietly hanging over you. Suddenly, finishing becomes easier than living with something unfinished. And one more thing, so you don't feel tricked. It won't work like magic every single time. Sometimes you'll sit down, write that awkward sentence, and still walk away a minute later. That's okay, it's normal. The point is to lose 1 or 2 fewer escape attempts out of 10. Those small victories add up to everything else. And now, here's a part no guru will sell you, because it can't be packaged into a course. You won't defeat procrastination for good. You won't wake up one morning as a machine, smiling, doing everything immediately without delay. Such a person doesn't exist, and those who claim they are usually have something to sell. What you can realistically achieve is much more modest and far more useful. You can learn to catch the moment of escape a bit earlier. Notice when you're reaching for your phone because a task has become unpleasant, and occasionally choose that embarrassingly small first step instead of running away. Not every time, because that would be a fairy tale too, just more often than before, and that already changes so much. There's another thing people don't talk about, and it's what costs you the most. The most expensive part of procrastination is the hidden tax on your clock. It's the guilt you carry with you all day. You know that feeling. Sitting on a Sunday evening, supposedly watching something to relax, but inside, a timer is ticking with the word, should. You're not really resting then. You're paying the full price for relaxation and not getting any at all. So if you have to put something off, and sometimes you just will, do it honestly. Decide consciously that today you won't touch it, and let it go. Conscious letting go has a certain dignity, the kind that panic-driven avoidance always lacks. At least you stop paying for a rest you never get. An afternoon truly let go of is worth 10 times more than one wasted pretending you're about to start any minute. So what's this all really about? There's no promise that you'll stop procrastinating. That's a fantasy. The goal is much simpler. To start before panic grips you 2 hours before the deadline, and to stop adding a day's worth of guilt to every postponed task. You will still procrastinate. So will I. The difference is, now you know what you're looking at. A simple old habit of running away from something unpleasant. And there's one answer to that habit that truly works. A tiny, embarrassingly small first step, taken before you have a chance to run. It's not a breakthrough. And that's good because breakthroughs are often for sale. Instead, you can make it happen next Tuesday, somewhere between one delay and another. That's it. No revolution, no morning routine with 6 alarms. Just open the document and write that one ugly sentence.